clear your throat. Welcome to the Damn Good Friends podcast. We're here. We did remote last week. It worked out. Good job, Mac.
Round 2.
Good job, Mac.
Oh, thank you.
But tell me now.
You did pretty good too, Corey. We had some stumbles and trips and falls, but you didn't break nothing.
So on Sunday, Mac was in a totally different location. I was in, obviously. And now me and our special guest, who I'll announce here shortly, are in studio. And Mac is in a hotel room doing some God knows what. So we'll probably hear about it soon.
I'll tell you, you won't hear anything, but my neighbors.
Oh, Lord.
Merciful heaven.
The views, information, or opinions expressed during the Damn Good Friends podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and are not affiliated with any military or government organization. This podcast is not endorsed by, directly affiliated with, maintained, authorized, or sponsored by any branch of the military, the Department of War, or the U.S. government. The content provided is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute professional or legal advice. But we are going to get some awesome advice and some tips from our special guest here, who I'll name in a second.
Is that the person sitting next to you?
It's this guy. Hold on. But first, this episode 75, is brought to you by Dennis Fick and the Old Dogs of Westphalia, Shelter Insurance. Mac?
The Shield.
The Shield.
Sorry. I was reading notes.
And by Movets Outdoors, getting veterans in the outdoors for therapy and enjoying damn good times with damn good friends.
Hell yeah.
And now, our special guest of the day. He is our own catfish whisperer and local veteran, James Elam, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
Oh, man. So just opening it up, James, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What do you do? What do you like?
Obviously, you already said my name, James Elam, right?
Oh, hello, James.
Hey, Mac, how are you? No, I live up in Kansas City. I have for a long time. Actually grew up, in the like the Kearney and Ray County area. For all of y'all, if you know where that is,
shout out Kearney.
Shout out Kearney. Shout out Ray County, Rayville, Missouri. Don't blink when you go through there. If you blink, you'll miss it.
It's about like Mid-Fountainish.
It is. It is.
Sure.
Yeah. And but what do I like to do? I like to fish. Man, I like to fish. I like to fish for anything, right?
Hence the fishing shirt that you bought at the expo.
I absolutely did. And I love this shirt. I was wearing it just the other day when I was fishing, and we did pretty good. We didn't kill them, but at the same time, we did not get skunked either. So I'm calling it good luck. And I'm going to be wearing this fishing shirt the next time I go out, without a doubt.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Cheers to that.
What was that? What did you just open? Was that wait a second, is that Dr. Pepper?
Got me a Bud.
Oh, light.
Wise?
There you go. You like that?
One of their best commercials they ever did.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
But yeah, I like to do that. Just so you know, I am the reigning and defending 4-time Watch Club poker champion, and also the Boy Scout Camp 2-time belly flop contest runner-up.
Runner-up.
Oh, runner-up. I think I got robbed the first year. The second year I got legitimately beat, but I think I got robbed the first year. I think the dude was wearing a life vest underneath his costume.
Now hold on. How do you successfully win a belly flop
That's what I was about to ask. That sounds like the absolute opposite of a success.
It's a very subjective criteria to win a belly flop competition.
Okay.
It's not like crowd noise or anything like that, because I was pumping up the crowd and everything. I had a great shtick. I had a great thing. So the boys love me. I've been one of my boys. I was their den leader when they were in Cub Scouts. I don't know how much you guys know about Scouts.
I was a Weeblo.
Okay, there you go. So I was my boys' den leader when they were in Cub Scouts. They transitioned into Boy Scouts, and I stayed involved. My son should be getting Eagle here pretty quick. He's a good kid, and but we go to the Scout camp every year. And the first year I showed up, they were like, do you want to do the belly flop contest? And I'm like, hell yeah, what kind of stupid question is that? You know what I mean?
I was born for this.
Yeah, like, this is my time to shine. And so it was me and another guy named Jason. We were at the laundromat, and we both love old school wrestling.
Oh, hell
Right?
yeah.
Like old school wrestling.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We went through a whole.
I
I
grew up
done a
watching
whole
wrestling.
podcast from that. We love it too. We can go down a freaking rabbit hole
And
there.
I grew up watching wrestling in the 80s and 90s, and and so I was like, Jason, I want to make this something memorable. Like, I want to make it something cool for the boys, because what do we want? We want the boys to have a good time. You know what I mean? And we'll do what it takes, And so we're doing laundry one day. So you got to, from the Boy Scout camp, you got to drive into this town, and to do your laundry. You're there for a long time, and there's no way you can pack enough clothes to last you for the whole time.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there, and I was like, why don't I just be like a wrestling character? Like, just do it like old school wrestling. And he was like,
Do it off a diving board too?
Well,
Do you have like a walk up?
hang on, I'll get to that part,
Okay.
right? I'll get to that part. And so I wrote out, like, I was sitting there and we were doing laundry, and I was writing out a whole script, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do, man. This is going to be money right here. He's like, hey, this is either going to be awesome, or you're going to get kicked out of Boy Scout camp for the rest of your life. And I was like, challenge accepted. You know what I mean? And so, so we go back, and I always had in my head, like, the best wrestling character. I remember listening to an interview by Steve Austin one time, Stone Cold, and he said the best wrestling characters, it's you. It's really you. You just turn yourself up real loud, right?
I get in trouble every time I do that.
Right, but that's perfect for a wrestling character. And so my wrestling character was Hillbilly Slim, right? That was my belly flop contest
shit.
character, Hillbilly Slim.
Can you give us an imitation?
And I just imitated Hulk Hogan. And I just did the voice like that, right?
Yeah.
And but we go back and we get up there, and I this kid is announcing us for the belly flop contest, and I grabbed the mic from him real aggressive, like, and you could tell everybody's like, what's about to happen here? And I just launched into it, you know what I mean? And I'm straight screaming at people. Like, screaming at people, talking trash on the other troops and this and that, and the boys are going, the place is bananas. It's pandemonium.
We had a video camera for this.
Oh my god!
There is a video out there. I don't know where that is. I wish I could.
VHS.
It wasn't that long ago. It was a little while ago. But it's pandemonium. We're tearing the house down, right? We're just getting totally ridiculous with it. And we go out there and we do the belly flop contest. And I ended up losing to a guy that was dressed like Darth Vader. And
belly flopping that.
yeah. And but from that point on, like, the boys made me a little flag. And I think they were like 11 or 12 years old at the time. You know what I mean? And so they made me this little flag. And still to this day, now these boys are 15, 16 years old, and they're still like, yo, Hillbilly Slim, are you going to come to Boy Scout camp? Are you going to do the belly flop contest? And it's like, it's legend.
So you boys still do it too then?
Oh yeah, they still go to Boy Scout camp. I'll be going to Boy Scout camp here in just a couple of months.
You still go then?
Yeah, I still go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's so fun.
It's a great time.
So you're kind of a white dude.
100%.
Did you come out of that water with a big old fucking red belly?
I 100% did. And, it's kind of funny because as much as I enjoy fishing, I really can't swim all that well. I have never
choice for competition then.
Yeah. I swim like a rock really fast, straight to the bottom, and I told the lifeguard
podcast already.
Yeah. And
swim like a rock right to the bottom.
I was like, hey guy, whatever his name was, Bill or whatever. I was like, hey, here's the deal, man. Like, if I, you saw my shtick, you know what I mean? I'm like, hey, I'm playing a character here, right? Like, I'm not really like this. But I said, hey,
fucking swim.
If I hit the water and I don't move, that's not part of the act. Like, I need you to come in and get me out of there. You know what I mean? Because I've knocked myself out. Did
he have to come get you?
No, he did not have to come get me. Although we did have to go to a sudden death on one of them. It was like 7 of us, and then they narrowed it down to 3 of us.
Hold on. Sudden death. So you had to do this more than once.
100%. I had
You had to have bruises from that water.
I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't remember that. Pain is temporary, glory is forever, baby.
Mac, have you done a belly flop?
No, not willingly.
Mac, we can't hear you.
Not.
Oh, there
can you hear me
There
now?
you go. Yeah, we
I would
couldn't
say
hear you
not
there.
willingly. I
Not
didn't just
willingly.
I didn't jump in and go, let me do this on purpose.
And you know what? The great thing about that is too, there was no alcohol for me. But we went to a
Gee
sudden,
whiz.
and I pulled the kid over that was kind of in charge of the whole thing, and I said because I kind of like I didn't think there was going to be a sudden death. Didn't think I was going to have to do a second belly flop, so I was kind of out of ideas.
Yeah.
And then I saw the lifeguard tower, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going off the lifeguard
Oh
tower."
my God. Wendy Peppercorn is so
Wendy-
upset.
Yeah, and he was like, "You can't go off the lifeguard tower." I'm like, "Says who?" You know, and he was like, "Well, that's not safe." I'm like, "I'm 40 years old and I can't swim very good, and I'm doing a belly flop. What? And there's nothing about this that's safe. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I told you 30 seconds ago that if I knock myself out, you got to come in and get me." You know, like I was like, what? You know, so they ended up not letting me. And really, what I really wanted to do was backflip off of the lifeguard tower
front door.
into the water. And he was like, absolutely not. We're not. No, you can't do that. And I was like, okay, whatever. You know, I was like, whatever, man. So I'll just do another belly flop. And we did something else. I can't remember what it was. But I guarantee if he would have let me backflip off that belly flop or backflip off of that lifeguard tower, I would have won that competition. Boy, I promise.
You would have broke your damn neck.
No,
40 would have been the end of your life.
no. I would have been all right.
How many backflips do you do a year?
Well, typically one, and it's a Boy Scout camp. No, I don't even like going swimming that much. I get sunburn easily, so I don't like hanging out with people either. But
Damn.
you know,
Mac, this is the hardest I've laughed at the beginning of a podcast ever.
Dude, I'm picturing him going to the lifeguard saying, listen, I know my character's pretty badass, but I really can't swim. So when I don't come up, it's because I'm drowning. You have to come in for me. I'm going straight to the bottom.
No, Mac. That is a true story. Like 100%. I didn't. I was afraid that they would think that if I hit the water and didn't move, it was part of the shtick.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that is 100% not part of it. Like if I hit that water, I don't particularly. I love fishing. I already said that. I like being on the water. I don't like being in the water. That's not a thing, you know. And I said, if I
Hope your boat doesn't sink.
if I hit the water and I don't move, I need you to come in and get me, right? Like, cause like this is real, you know. And they were like, oh, okay. And they were kind of like chuckling, and no, I'm 100% serious. Like, if I knock myself out, you need to get in there and get me.
No, seriously, guys, I might die.
Yeah, because I can't swim all that good to begin with, you know.
I will drown.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, we went down that was a great story of a rabbit hole.
Dude, I
Thank you.
loved it.
Let me get back to my checklist.
You didn't think I was going to go that direction, did you?
That was great.
Yeah.
Well, I'll ask you a
James.
question before he jumps in there.
Oh,
So,
go ahead.
You said you love fishing.
I
What
do.
is your preferred rod and reel?
You know, that's a really hard question to answer simply because, Mac, it depends. I mean, in all seriousness, it depends on what I'm doing, right? Like every species, every situation has a little bit different rod and reel depending on a lot of different factors. But I will say as a general rule, I think there's a lot of stuff that's made to catch the fisherman and not the fish. You know what I mean? So like
Mine too.
Sparkly lures.
Sparkly lures, right? And I used to say that same thing. I was the only sport I was ever any good at was baseball, and kids would show up with a $400 bat even back in the 90s. and I got a $400 bat. That's neat, and it's going to look really neat when you strike out with said $400 bat. You know what I mean? And this kid over here,
Slap in the face.
right? Yeah, and when this kid over here with his, $8 play it again sports bat goes yard, let me holler at you about that
He's
$400.
gonna yeet that thing out there.
And I think the same thing about rods and reels. Man, look at this, Abu Garcia Veritas with the Abu Garcia 8,000 whatever.
So for you being, you whisper to Catfish and they listen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a Catfish rod?
Mm,
Do you
good
specifically every time you get a favorite one, you got a lucky one? You got a
If I had to pick a favorite Catfish rod, it'd probably be the Berkeley Lightning rod, man. Either the Berkeley Lightning rod or the Ugly Stick. One or the other.
Ugly Stick's my hands down favorite.
Ugly Sticks.
A lot of all time, yeah.
They're good rods, man.
We just gave one of those away on our Facebook raffles that we do.
Oh yeah.
I had an Ugly Stick. We had some Bojangles fishing lures with it. Some
Good
cooked
lures,
hooks
good
for
lures.
some- yeah,
Hell yeah.
and a fishing hat. So
Okay.
yeah, we had some stuff hooked up on that. But ugly. So I got a short story on Ugly Stick.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
one.
2000, it's ugly.
No, it's a good story.
2030, yeah. This is kind of a dramatic story, actually. So I had an Ugly Stick rod. I loved it. I had an Ugly Stick reel that said Ugly Stick on it and everything, and fished all over with it. But I had it in the back of my truck one night when I was driving a little too fast on a gravel road,
Okay.
and I might have rolled said truck through a fence, and that rod and reel were in the truck.
Okay.
Well, we got a tow truck out there, cleaned up the wreck and everything, and they picked up all my stuff that was in the field and threw it in the cab of the truck.
Okay.
Well, I went back to get it, and that reel was shattered, but the Ugly Stick was fully intact. That rod was completely a truck rolled over all that shit. And I mailed or emailed Ugly Stick and said, hey, you guys got great rods. My reel didn't make it through this car wreck, but the rod did, so good job, guys. They mailed me a new reel.
That
Fucking A.
that is a great story.
Ugly Stick's a great company.
Hey, shout out to Ugly Stick because that is a badass
That's
story.
customer
Yeah,
service.
no.
And they are fantastic rods. You said the reel was Ugly Stick as well, or
I want to say it was like a Daiwa, but it had Ugly Stick labels on it. It came with the rod.
oh, okay, it was like a combo deal.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like them. You can get them at reasonable prices. I've never hunting and fishing are fantastic pastimes, and I hate that a lot of stuff has gotten so expensive that maybe a young guy or an old guy or gal goes to the sporting goods store and they're like, well, hell, I can't do this hobby because everything is so expensive. You look at a Sitka jacket, and I mean, no hate to Sitka, but like you get a Sitka jacket, it's $500. Like $500? Well, you kidding me? Like I've got most of my guns cost less than that. A
And
jacket?
when you put one of those jackets on, when you see your fellow Sitka wearers, you always say, "Hey." How they talk
mean,
to each other.
I can freeze my ass off in a $40 jacket just as easy as I can a $500 jacket.
You ain't wrong.
Because if you're sitting still, you're just going to be cold. Like one of my boys asked me one time, right before my oldest son, this was a couple of years ago, before the very first time I took him deer hunting, he said, Dad, I would tell him these, deer hunting stories about how cold it was and this, that, and the other thing. And he'd listen to him. He's a real smart kid, like real smart, real perceptive. He listens really, really well. And finally one day he was like, Dad, he was like, how do you keep from getting cold when you deer hunt, right? And I mean, I'm just a regular guy. Like I don't have a heated shed and my own, private hunting plot and all that type of BS. Just a regular guy. And I said, well, son, I said, it's a real complicated and technical process of, well, you don't. You just sit there and freeze your ass off and you suck it up.
And get cold.
Yeah, and it's just that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he just didn't know what to say about that. And so I'm like, bud, if you're sitting still, like it really doesn't matter what you're doing. You're just gonna
You're gonna be cold.
It doesn't matter.
I want to rewind just a little bit. You hit on something, and I heard a phrase, or I've come up with a phrase that I wanted to use. So on one of the podcasts we had with Keith Coleman and Nathan Mann, Ridge Ghosts and Beards and Bows Outdoors, we talked about the outdoor industry, but we want to call it community. Well, you're talking about stuff getting too expensive. That's because the industry is leaving the community behind.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get back to community,
Yeah.
reasonably priced stuff, not everybody trying to make $1 million. If it costs that much to make it, then okay, it should cost that much.
Yeah.
But I almost guarantee you that Sitka gear does not cost that much to make.
No.
Maybe it does. Am I
No.
wrong, Mac?
I don't
mean,
think
no,
so.
there's-
Dude. There's
we
no
should-
way.
We should research that.
I don't believe it.
How much does it cost to make a Sitka jacket? That's the industry
Well-
making lots of money off of us.
It depends if they use China because they use children to build their stuff and they have smaller hands, and so it's a lot finer stitching. Costs more.
But if it's come from China, it's cheaper.
No, the little kids.
If it
That's
comes
why,
from
because
China,
it's
you just
stitching.
increase your profit margin, right? Like if it comes from China, that same thing that would cost you, let's call it, and I'm just going to keep the numbers round. It costs you $100 to make it in the United States. When you make it in China for $10, well, instead of lowering the price, you just increase your profit margin.
Yeah.
And well, I won't get into all that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's irritating for the community versus the industry.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
all
absolutely.
I'm saying.
And I mean, I understand it from a business perspective. If people are going to pay it, you charge it.
Well, for instance, at DGF, we have some pretty high quality hoodies there.
Yes, you do.
What's the brand, Mac?
We use
He's
Next Level or
No, the hood.
the
Independent.
hoodie Independent.
It's
Sorry,
it's called
I'm working on
Independent
some
brand.
signal
Yeah.
issues on this end, boys.
Yep, take care of the signal issues. But
Yeah.
it's an independent brand. We've seen on other companies' websites. I'm not going to name those companies. I'm not trying to have anybody out.
Yeah, let's not do
But they
that.
sell said hoodie, same quality of hoodie,
Mhm.
for $65. We sell ours, same hoodie, with our print on it for $45 on our website, and we are still making money.
Yeah.
We're not making as much as we could make, but we're getting our name out there, our product out there, and people love those hoodies because they're warm as shit. Tell your boy if he wants to stay warm, get a DGF hoodie.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic hoodies.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wearing a now this is a DGF fishing shirt right here, but I'm wearing it. I just picked it up from you guys. I'm gonna pick one up from my old man. He doesn't know that yet.
Oh man, he might have to hear this podcast.
I bet he'll listen to it. You know what I mean? I bet he'll listen to it. right?
Has he ever been there for the belly flop?
No, you know what? I'm trying to convince him to go down to scout camp and stay with us.
Yeah.
For at least a couple of days. He's never been down there before, but I think he would really like it. But that's my old man is kind of my OG DGF. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good transition to another question I have for you.
Okay.
Your
Mhm.
OG DGF.
That he's the OG.
So we haven't asked this question because we haven't had a guest on in a while to ask it, but define an ideal damn good friend. Your definition of a damn good friend.
Okay, so we'll start with this. Define an ideal DGF. If I had to name an actual an actual person, a human being, at first I'd have to go with my old man.
Mm-hmm.
Because and we'll get into some of the reasons why here after a bit.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the first one, and then the second one, of course. An ideal DGF, honestly, probably my wife, man. Like she's put up with my crap for 20 years. This year is our.
He's been blessed with your crap.
I wouldn't call my crap a blessing. You know what I mean? Sometimes I
That's
want to
a
whip my
shitty thing
own.
to say,
you know
James.
what I mean? But she's put up with my crap for 20 years, and I would call her an ideal DGF, but kind of, I think more what you're looking for when you're defining an ideal DGF, right? And I think the third person I would say, my homeboy Watson, shout out to my boy Watson. He'll listen to this podcast as well.
Hell yeah.
But we've been friends since.
Is he your
I
dear
was-
friend?
What's that?
Is he your dear friend?
He is a dear Watson friend. He
Dear
is
friend Watson.
100%.
Oh,
Yes.
I see what
Yeah,
you're doing
you
there.
see what he did
Watson.
right there? Yeah, dear, elementary, my dear Watson. Unfortunately, I'm not Sherlock, but anyway, no, we've been friends. I think I was in 6th grade. He was in 7th grade when we met. I think I mentioned I was in my 40s earlier, so it's been quite some time, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, an ideal DGF, right?
Mhm.
It's going to be that guy or gal. And I don't want to say something stupid like, "Ooh, you can call them for bail money." Like, well, don't need bail money for starters, Nimrod. You know what I mean? Like, be a DGF and not need bail money,
Uh-huh.
but
That's a good way to look at it. Never really thought about that. Normally, I'm getting arrested with my DGF. So
yeah, or you get arrested with
what?
a DGF. You know what?
I
Be
mean,
a
we've gotten
DGF.
tickets together, so
Damn bail money. Like, you know what I mean?
was that, Mac?
we have gotten tickets together. So
Just think it's not arrested.
this is true.
Yeah, be a DGF and have your own bail money. Like
Uh-huh.
that, you don't have to borrow it from somebody. But anyway,
Okay.
but that individual, that person, that you can talk to about anything at any time. Even if there's a geographic separation.
Mm-hmm.
Even if there's a time separation, like getting back to my homeboy Watson, right? We went to high school together. I went into the service right after high school. He went to college, and then our paths kind of diverge. But every year I couldn't even tell you when we started doing. I was back from the service when we started doing this, so we're talking like 2006, right? We're going back a little ways. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Good beer.
Yes, it is. But so we're going back a little ways. But for as long as I can remember, we meet up turkey season every year. We go up to his place, which is up by Polo, Missouri, which I've heard you're familiar with.
I've been there a time or two.
A time or two. And we go up there and we turkey hunt every year. And then he's got this little, we turkey hunt and we drink some beers and we catch up on old times and we tell funny stories from old times. And he's got this little pond on there and we, sometimes we'll fish. Especially if we kill the turkey really early and we've got some time to kill, we'll go fishing. Now, if we sit there till noon or so or however long it is, if I broke a law right there, I meant to say 10 o'clock.
No law's broken anymore. You can hunt past one.
There you go. Okay. All right. I'm not super familiar with the laws, but we'll go fishing there. The 2 biggest bass I've ever caught in my life have been out of that pond.
Hell yeah.
Right
How big
there.
a pond is it?
Oh, shoot. Maybe an acre.
Oh, that's decent.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, you can't cast all the way across it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And he's got this, crappy little boat that me and my old man one time we went out. Watson actually wasn't there. Me and my old man were there, but we went out in this little boat and we didn't have a trolling motor or a paddle or anything. So we grabbed a piece of just like wood.
Whatever you got to do.
Paddled out in the middle of this pond and I was tossing out and I hooked this fish and we got this fish up in the boat and my dad's like, "That's the biggest son of a bitchin' bass I ever seen in life." And I was like, "It's pretty big." I didn't have a scale or anything. Like I had nothing, and I just took a picture with it and I'm like, "That's a huge freaking bass." You know what I mean? And, but yeah, the 2 biggest bass I ever caught in my life were out of that pond. But getting back to your original point, a DGF, like we really only see each other that one time a year. That's the only time we see each other, right? We talk occasionally throughout the course of the year, but when we get together, it's like none of that time has ever passed. Like I just seen him just yesterday. You know what I mean? And we're right back. We're boys, immediately.
Don't miss a beat.
Don't miss a beat.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think the same thing about, some guys I was in the service with, 20, 25 years ago or whatever. I haven't talked to them in a long, long time. If they were to walk through the door right now, I'd be like, "What's up, Matt?" You know what I mean? Like, "How you been?" And we would be right back where we were in 2003. You know what I mean? And so to me, that's a DGF. Could that guy give you bail money? Yeah, he could. But then again, that guy might have just as much of a mind to be like, "What'd you do?" And you're like, "Yo, I did something stupid," and he'd be like,
You can sit there for a
I'm gonna
while.
let you sit in jail because that was stupid." You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna let you sit in jail for a while. You know what? I might buy you a beer when you get out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you sit there for a little minute
I can-
because you
I can-
probably deserve
I
it.
could see that being I mean, it's a empathetic but disciplined, way to go about it. Like, hey, Mac, I know you're sitting there. I'll come pick you up, but I'm going to stop at the liquor store on the way. I got another buddy I got to stop and help him change the oil on his car real quick. And then I probably got to go stop and give someone a high five. Then I'll be there to pick you up. And we're going to drink these beers.
I got this hot piece of ass coming over in an hour. You're gonna have to rain check your fucking self, homie.
I mean, yeah, if
Now we're
if
married, so you're like, my wife's making me a dinner, and I'm not leaving. So I'm gonna
Oh.
eat first,
Oh.
then I'll come get you.
is it cool if we talk about the dirty rice?
Oh, yeah.
Is that cool?
Absolutely. Oh, Mac, you missed out a little bit. We made gator ribs.
Oh yeah, you were telling me.
Gator ribs, dirty rice, Caesar salad, blueberry coffee cake.
Oh, oh, mercy.
Tell them what you think.
Hey, Mac, like, if my boy Watson called me and was like, "Hey, man, check it out, dude. I'm locked up, like, and I need some help. Like, I need some bail money." I'd be like, okay. Hey, check this out. I'm at Corey's house, and his wife made up some gator ribs and some dirty rice, and it is on point. Like, it is the shit.
I'll be there in 3 days.
Hey, give me a couple of. What did you do? Whatever it might be, I don't know. What did you do? Okay, whatever. Hey, check it out. So I'm at my boy Corey's house, and his wife made a dinner that is phenomenal. And so I'm gonna be there in a couple of days. So why don't you sit there and think about what you did?
Yeah.
And I will come help you, but I'm gonna finish this dinner first because it is wonderful.
What I've learned with Michelle's cooking is even if you wanted to try to leave after you got done eating to go, you couldn't because you've eaten so much you're fucking miserable and you can't. You got to sit around for a minute and just like get your body to reset.
We've had podcasts where my wife cooks before we come up here, and no shit, I overeat, and we're sitting here on the podcast, and I'm just like, I still got the meat sweats, guys.
When we've eaten so much and then we do a podcast and we maybe drank a little too much and we went back downstairs and ate the rest of it.
That's a miserable morning.
And then the next day, Michelle's like, "There's no food left over." Nah, we ate all of it.
No.
Zero. No,
No.
I actually, Mac, I intentionally, I didn't say anything to Corey or Michelle, but I intentionally cut myself off because I was like, dude, I could eat this whole pot of dirty rice.
You got to.
Without
You
a
got
doubt.
to.
And I'm going to intentionally cut myself off because I'm trying to fit into social convention right now and like not be a complete just tool. But this whole thing of dirty rice, like, it was that
geez.
good, man.
Oh,
So-
I believe it.
Let's get back on track here for a second. That food, yeah, we're gonna eat a little bit more after we drink some whiskey.
Oh,
but so your description of a damn good friend came with some names, and I know you go hunting and fishing with Watson, and you got a specific location that I'd like to find, and maybe come by and high five you on a turkey during turkey season one year.
Maybe.
But one of the other things that I think one of our first interactions where I was like, I'm gonna be friends with this fucking guy, was when you brought up to me the trifecta in the springtime.
Yes.
And that same year that you brought it up to me, we had the conversation. You won the competition. You text me a morel mushroom, you text me a crappie, and you text me a picture of a turkey before I was able to accomplish it.
Yeah.
So tell me your take on the trifecta, you and Watson doing your thing. What's been some of the best experiences doing that?
Oh man. So that would have been, and my wife, bless her heart, again, a DGF. She made me a little picture frame, right? Because I took a picture, and I had been trying for the trifecta for years, right? You can call it the trifecta, you can call it the hat trick, you can call it the triple crown, you can call it whatever you want to call it, right? But
The Damn Good Friends 3.
the DGF 3, there you go, right there. That's trademarked.
I'm going to write that down.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if you live, we're so blessed, we're so lucky in the great state of Missouri. Right around the spring time frame, late March or early to mid-April time frame, you have morel mushrooms, you have spring turkey season, and you have crappie fishing turning on, all at the same time. right? And where the three circles of that Venn diagram come together, that right there is the spring trifecta. That's the Missouri spring trifecta. And I would be hard pressed. Like that right there is proof God loves me and wants me to be happy. And I would be hard pressed to like find another state. I don't know where that place is, that all those three things come together all at the same time, and they're all three so magnificent, all at the same time. Like it's wonderful. It's my favorite time of year.
Dude, it's fun to accomplish all three of the tasks, but also when you get to have that meal, especially if it's at a turkey camp, you fry some fish, you fry some mushrooms, you grill some turkey breast, and just god dang right there.
Oh, dude.
And then an ice cold beer to go along with it.
Come on, man.
God bless America.
Oh yeah. But so she made me, it was 2023, and she made me a little frame that I still hang up, above my little desk at my house, Spring Trifecta 2023. And it was me with my turkey, and then one of my sons that I took out with a morel mushroom, and then another one of my sons holding a crappie that we had caught. And, from that point on, I was like, man, I'm going for the trifecta and I had been going for the trifecta every single year, but like I really tried every single year to hit all of them. Typically crappie is the easiest. For me, generally morels is the hardest. My boy Watson has very, very good land to turkey hunt on, and we kill a lot of turkey off of that land. Actually twice now. So the first time it happened, I was like, Watson, nobody's ever going to believe us if we tell this story. And it's actually happened twice that we have, we've been calling and we've been sitting there and we've been doing our thing and everything. And so many big toms come in that, and I mean, they're coming in and they're just like swarming these decoys. And I'll be like, hey, or he will, or however we set it up. They typically come from our left or right, and it'll be like, hey, which one are you going to shoot? And you say, I'm going to shoot the one on the far right or whatever you pick. Okay, I'm going to shoot that one right there in the middle. Okay, on 3, I need you to drop the hammer. 1, 2,
3 bang.
3 bang.
Yep.
And now twice it's happened that we've done that. 2 turkeys, 2 guns, 2 guys, same spot, same time, bang, rolled them.
Hell yeah.
And it's just like that. The first time it happened, I was like, nobody's ever going to believe this bullshit.
Oh, yes. Come on now.
They're going to see us with these turkeys, and they're going to be like, nah, bro, you just AI'd that, those 2 turkeys. And it's the same picture,
If AI wasn't a thing, it's understood that this happened.
Yeah.
This is a common conversation, like going out to the woods, if me and Dad or me and Mac or whoever are walking out, hey, if the turkeys come up, I'm sitting on the right, I got the one on the right, you're on the left, you got the one on the left, whichever. Or if there's multiples, just make sure you're taking a far left or a far right. But there's always that 3 count. What gets you screwed up is it on 3 or is it after?
Is it right after 3? Yes. You got to be very clear.
Drop it on 3.
Yeah, you drop on 3.
Yeah.
1, 2. Actually, you shouldn't even hear 3. It's 1, 2, bang.
Me and my dad have done this 4 times.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So 2 of those times it was just jakes, which audience may not like it, but I don't mind killing a jake.
Whatever.
Yeah. Mac?
I don't carry their direction, honestly.
Turkeys I don't think are like deer where the older ones are tougher, so does whatever they say. However, we'll bring that up. I know you have an opinion. But turkeys are all delicious. I don't mind killing a jake. But me and my dad doubled up on jakes twice, and we doubled up on some big longbeards twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite hunt of all time was me and my dad turkey hunting and missing an opportunity at some, but then sneaking up a hill and across a fence to get these other ones that were coming over the hill. We could hear them the whole way, and they came across the hill, and I got the right, he got the left, but they actually switched spots as I was counting, and my dad said, wait. And so as they switched, he said, okay. And then I counted and we shot, and I got the smaller one.
Oh
But
shit!
it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, out at Watson's Land before, one of my favorite. This wasn't at Watson's Land, but like one of my favorite memories of hunting. It was me and my old man. The very first time I ever killed a turkey, which I still have. So I have that turkey's fan. My dad built me a little like a mount.
Put it on the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that turkey's fan. He fanned it all out and everything, and then he took the shell, the actual shotgun shell. He cut the plastic off it, and then he took the beard and he glued the beard up in the the metal casing. He did that, and so that sits on top of my gun safe, and then it sits. And then in front of that, so you've got the fan and all, that whole rigmarole, and it's awesome. That was the first turkey I ever killed. I was with my old man. We had a big old time. And then right in front of that is a picture of me and my Uncle Mike at one of his, technically his stepdaughter's weddings. It's his wife's daughters from his wife's first marriage, which is my dad's sister, my aunt.
Holy shit, man! Don't pull out the family tree.
Yeah, but. So in my Uncle Mike, he's passed on now, but he was fantastic.
Yeah.
My dad would definitely name him as a DGF, and it's me and him. I was like, I don't know, like 8 or something like that. And it's me and him together at this wedding. And I put that right there in front of that because, I mean, he was always down. You want to go hunting? You want to go fishing? You just want to do something? Cool. I'm in.
Let's go do it.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, Uncle Mike, you want to do something? Yes. What is it? I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
Let's just start walking.
Yeah, we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
And so he's right there in front. So that's really cool. And then one of the coldest I ever been in my life was with my old man, ironically turkey hunting.
The coldest?
Coldest. Yeah. It was
Turkey
spring
hunting.
It was spring turkey season and I got so freaking cold. I was like 11. I got so freaking cold that I went back to the truck. It's the only time I ever went back to the truck my whole life. I'm like, Dad,
What's the temperature?
I don't remember, but it was frigid.
Huh.
And I think we had hit a real cold snap.
Uh-huh.
And it's the only time in my life I said, I can't take it anymore. I'm going back to the truck.
I mean, I've had some chilly turkey hunts in the morning. Like I had one turkey hunt in the morning where the turkeys just would not close the distance.
Yeah.
And it was in a wheat field, and the wheat was tall enough I could kind of nose my way through it. Well, that wheat was really wet, and I got soaking wet in this cold wheat, and standing up, the sun wasn't shining. It was cloudy, and it got me fucking cold. Mac, do you get cold?
I hate the cold. I hate it, but I love hunting too. So it's like something's got to give. So I just suck it up, and
Would you call that a love-hate relationship?
it's pure hate.
You love to hunt, and hunting's best when it's chillier.
No, the hunting it's pure love, but the cold that's pure hate. Two separate things.
Totally. The
Don't
yin,
put them in
yang,
the same basket.
yin and yang.
You
Yin and
You
yang.
move down to Louisiana or something. You don't ever have to be cold when you hunt.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
something. I
Yeah.
love Missouri
really?
hunting too much. I don't want to leave.
That's the true story, man.
They call cold down there 55 degrees.
55 degrees. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like,
Connie and I have thrown that idea when we retire.
You what?
All right. Connie and I have thrown around that idea when we retire of getting a camper and going away. But I told her I'll go away, but I have to come back September through the end of December because I'm going to hunt. I'm gonna hunt in Missouri.
Hold on, I got you. I think I've told you my idea, haven't I?
Mm-hmm.
Like in retirement, especially if I don't own land, we start in like New Mexico in September, and then we go up north to a different hunting season somewhere, Idaho, Utah, I don't know, whatever. And then we go east of there to Wyoming or North Dakota or South Dakota, and then maybe down through Nebraska and maybe Iowa, maybe back to Missouri for rifle season.
Okay, as long as I can avoid the cold, I'm in. Sign me
Oh no,
up.
it's gonna be cold everywhere we go.
Oh, well, fuck that, dude. I'm going down to Texas.
Dude, we're going elk hunting, mule deer hunting, probably a bighorn sheep in there somewhere.
You know
Maybe
I'm
an
there.
antelope,
That'd be epic.
maybe a jackrabbit, maybe one of them fucking jackalopes. You know what I'm
All right,
saying?
I'm
And
in.
then fucking, got some antlers on the fucking dang old rabbit.
Dang jackrabbit antlers.
Moving on. Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, about the spring trifecta,
Uh-huh.
if you, to me, the spring trifecta is okay if you do it in, a calendar year, right? Like if you're able to complete it in or at least in the spring, right? You can't kill a fall turkey and call it the spring trifecta. It's not, no.
No.
It just that spring season, it's okay. Now, if you truly wanted to go beast mode, if you wanted to really crank up the intensity, you could try to do it in one day.
I know people that try that.
That would be intense. Like I don't
Like an orgy at a campsite.
Yeah,
Fucking intense.
that would be intense. I don't know how you would pull that off. I don't have that necessarily that kind of time, but I mean you could do it and it'd be cool. You know what I mean? But
Nothing but time, man. There's like 18 hours of daylight about this time, isn't there?
there is. But
So I would like to add one to it though,
okay.
and that is finding a shed antler,
Okay.
finding a mushroom, catching a crappie, shooting a turkey.
Okay.
Because I do have an obsession with antlers. I don't know if you realize that around here. I love antlers.
What
I
do you
see that.
call that?
The quadrangle,
The Spring Grand Slam.
spring grand slam. No, that's a turkey.
It's the North. I mean, you got the Grand Slam and the North American Grand Slam.
Yeah,
You got
the DGF slam.
the DGF Slam. There you go.
Man, let me write that down.
Yeah, that's perfect.
There's going to be T-shirts coming out of this motherfucker. Or the DGF slam.
So let
mean,
me
you-
ask you, James. You said
Okay.
you caught the biggest basses in a pond, but do you like to fish for other things like catfish?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, actually, my favorite thing is catfish.
Is it really?
Dude, ever since I've known this guy, he could talk for hours about, we had to cut him off. We're going to have to watch. He's going to tell us everything about catfish, and we're going to learn something, then we got to go try it.
Yeah.
But eventually, he's going to bring his boat down. We're going to go on the Osage River, and we're going to catch some catfish.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
But anyways.
he took me over to the Osage, and I was like, dude, like no, we got to get that boat down here, and we got to do some catfishing. Like this is ridiculous. But that's actually my favorite. I like to catch them. I like to eat them.
Delicious.
They are delicious, and there's so many different ways to fish for them. They're all fun. People think of catfish and they think about going on the bank and smashing beers and just hanging out, and that is a thing.
That's fun too.
It's fun.
That is a lot of fun,
Yeah.
right? Like that's hard to pass up. I understand that.
You give me a comfy hammock and a bonfire with a fishing rod and a beer.
Oh yeah,
Come on.
oh yeah. That's pretty hard to beat, but but there really is, when you're going for like your, trophy class catfish, if that's what you want to get into, that is different. That is not the same thing. Or, if you're depending on if you're fishing for blues or flats, that's a different thing versus channels. And ironically, the smaller ones actually they clean up, they cook up, and they eat. To me, they eat up better.
What's too big of a catfish to keep and eat then?
I'd say anything over maybe 10 pounds. You know what I mean?
Back.
Go ahead and put it back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's not a hard and fast rule. That is not, red letter gospel. That is not anything like that. That is just me.
Well,
personally.
and help me out with this real quick. So I've had family members that catch 50, 60, 70-pound catfish, and they bring them home and they clean them. But when they clean them big-ass catfish, they got that red lining in them. They don't cut it out. And spoonbill, I always cut that shit out, but I've never caught a catfish that big to even try to clean it. But I seen it before they fried it. It had that red lining in it, and it was really fishy.
Yeah.
Like kind of tough fishy.
Okay. And so we're kind of getting off.
Sorry, I'm.
No.
It's a thing.
No, you're absolutely right. And this is a great thing to talk about, right? Because what is it? Everybody said, I don't like catfish because they taste fishy. They taste muddy, et cetera, et cetera. And you're right. If you don't clean them up right, they can taste fishy and muddy, right? Like they can have a funky flavor to them, and that is 100% a true thing. That's why. Okay, so for instance, Mac, like I never order catfish at a restaurant. Why? Because I like the way I do catfish. You know what I mean? Which is the way my dad does catfish. You know, we had my good buddy Darren King. Shout out to Darren King. My boat is actually named after him, the USS Darren King. You know, but it also has a DGF sticker on it.
Hell yeah.
Right. So
Represent.
the USS Darren King has a DGF sticker. But you know, but Darren, oh shoot, where was I going with that? I kind of lost my train of thought.
Catfish.
Yes.
Not at a restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. And but you know, we would catch catfish, and you know, yeah, I'll take a Bob's 47. That'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, what?
Oh.
I'm getting beers.
Yep.
I'm the beer bitch now.
I'm
That's the beer bitch call. That's the beer bitch call.
But if you don't, in my opinion, if you don't clean them up right, they can taste like that, right? And that's why I don't order catfish at a restaurant. I like the way I do it. Came from my old man. Oh, I remember what it was. So Darren King was the one that named my old man the Jedi catfisherman, because he said my old man would just hold his hand out over the water and the catfish would just come up out of the water because they didn't feel like getting a hook in their mouth. Just to avoid all that pain and trouble, why don't you just get in the boat, right? You know what I mean? And then I was like, he was Obi-Wan and I was Anakin. You know what I mean? Or he was Qui-Gon Jinn and I was Obi-Wan. I was the youngling. I was the apprentice, right? But I'm still a Jedi.
Patience, young grasshopper.
You know what I mean? But anyway,
Anakin turns into a Sith.
he does turn into a Sith, which is unfortunate.
Dick.
But makes for a good story.
Oh,
But anyway,
yeah. Anyway,
but no, even on the smaller catfish, you still have that red. I call it the mud vein. I have no idea what its actual.
That's what I've heard it called.
Yeah. I have no idea what its actual anatomical term is. I call it the mud vein. But so the way me and my old man do it, and we've always done it this way, and no one's ever complained about the way our fish taste, is we fillet them just like you do a crappie, right? We do not skin them. We fillet them. Then you get that fillet right there in front of you, however big it is, and you basically, and it helps if you have a real sharp knife. I take my knives to because I suck at knife sharpening. My old man is really good at it. I suck at it, so I take them to Ambrosie's there in Kansas City, and they sharpen them up, and they're Ginsu sharp, and it's really nice.
Ginsu?
Ginsu.
Is that a Japanese term?
That is a Japanese style of knife that is extremely sharp, like samurai sword shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so I take them there. They sharpen them up real nice. So, and then you cut a V, and you cut that blood vein or that mud vein completely out of it. And then what I like to do is I will chunk them into chunks about the size of my 3 fingers right here, right? About that big. And then what I feel like that does is when you drop them, and I batter them up, and I put the little Louisiana batter or whatever on them. And what I feel like that does is it makes them cook up real fast, real even, and real good, right? Because like even me, as much as a fisherman as I am, if I bite into a piece of fish and I taste that like greasy or oily texture, done. I'm done. We're done. I'm not eating any more of it. This is trash. You know what I mean? Like I can't do it.
Okay.
So I want my fish to be nice and flaky.
You know how you like it.
I know how I like it, and I know how a lot of people like it. Like a lot of people do not like that greasy, that oily.
So what's your favorite fish to cook then? Do you have a favorite one to clean and cook?
I can do catfish or crappie. No,
I mean of the catfish.
Oh, of the
Flat
catfish.
blue channel.
They're all good. I do really like the to me personally, maybe it's just a mental thing. I always like the flatheads because the flats do not eat, and you cannot fish with them with dead bait.
They eat live everything.
Eat live bait. Everything they eat is alive, right? And they definitely do not suck up trash off the floor like channel cat do.
Right.
Blue cats eat live or dead. Channel cats eat everything, and they kind of all eat everything, but flats will only eat live stuff.
Yeah.
And so to me, I feel like that makes the meat cleaner. Oh, and I forgot to get into too. I went straight into cleaning, right? There's even a step before you clean them.
Yeah.
When you catch when you catch them, and you're running a trot line, or you're running some jug lines, or whatever you're doing, some bank lines, whatever. So what I do is I'll take them. I got a nice sharp knife there in the boat, or on my person, or whatever I'm doing.
You don't own a person.
No, I mean me.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, but I own me, don't I?
A knife on you. Yeah, got it.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
moving
a
on.
knife on me.
Yeah.
But I'll take that nice sharp knife, and I will stick it through the gills, cut the gills, put them back in the water. They bleed out.
That's the same thing we do with spoonbill.
Yeah,
Yeah, bleed them out.
they bleed
Yep.
completely out, and then I clean them after that. So I mean, it's kind of a process. So you got to bleed them out, then you got to fillet them, then you got to cut the mud vein out, then you got to make sure you don't cut the fillets too big, and then I feel like they taste as good as they can possibly taste. You know what I mean?
This is science.
I think so.
Mac, I don't think you'd understand this. It's science.
Dude, I tried counting to 3 on my hands.
Good
I still
job.
haven't figured out how to do it.
But yeah, but if you just, the old school, back in the day, I was growing up, like, you catch some catfish, you pin them to a tree with a little
skin.
pull the skin off of them, and then just take that whole big nasty piece of meat and chuck her in the fryer, pull it out and eat it, and you get in the middle and it's all oily and greasy and kind of cooked, but maybe not, and it's like, that's why people do not like it.
No shit. I've done on a like survival float trip or just on the side of the pond, whatever, drinking beer. I will bring a frying pan and I'll take a catfish, I'll gut it, cut the head off, but then I just throw it in butter and fry it until the skin peels off, and then I'll take a fork and I'll eat the meat out of the bone. Fucking delicious. So I do it with the skin on, fine. But when me and Dustin Moore did our survival float on the Gasconade, we did 36 miles in 2 days.
See?
But we stopped, and we caught a big fucking carp and a little catfish. We tried to cook that carp. It just sucked. It was terrible. Just trying to cook it. We left the scales on, trying to cook it on the fire.
Okay.
Some of it, but it wasn't that good. But that catfish, I had some aluminum foil with us. We skinned it, wrapped it up in the foil, and just stuck it in the fire. I had some seasoning. I threw butter and seasoning on it, but then pulled that out. And being on the river all frickin' day, that was delicious catfish. It's probably scenario based, but I'd eat that again.
Yeah.
So being scientific and specific about it, I agree with that because I love fried fish.
Yeah.
But floating on a river and trying to be, little survival guys or whatever, and then we catch what we eat, it was good that way. Anyways, sorry, I went down a short rabbit hole of a story.
Oh, no. I mean,
No, you're good.
if you get hungry enough, you pretty much eat anything.
Oh, fuck. I was going to eat more of that carp, but it was such a pain in the ass.
And I've always heard carp is really good. But it is difficult or time consuming to clean it, is tedious to clean it up correctly. But if you get it cleaned up correctly, it's pretty good, is what I've always heard. To me, carp, drum, gar,
You really need
buffalo.
you need to score them and cook them hot, so some of those little bitty fucking bones will melt.
Yeah.
And not all of them will melt, not all of them will fall out. You'll still get some, but they're easier to swallow if you're a swallower, Mac.
You know my gag reflex. That's not a thing.
You swallow food.
How do you know that?
I was talking about that was
What are you talking about? I don't know.
What's happened?
Hell yeah, dude.
This son of a bitch.
But those species of fish to me have always been trash fish. Like, we never eat them, and we don't keep them.
Oh man, my father-in-law, the buffalo rib, which they're good. The meat around the ribs is really good.
Yeah.
But once you get above the ribs on that, like the backstrap area, you got to score it. You got to fry it hot, and it's got to be crispy. And yeah. Anyways, I digress.
I was fishing a pro-am tournament one time, bass fishing a pro-am tournament. And
he's a professional bass fisherman.
No, I was the am.
Oh,
the other guy was the pro. I was the am.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I was on the back of the boat, and we didn't have a great day. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. And I was pitching a jig around this stump or whatever, and I hooked this thing, and I was like, man, he was pulling hard, and I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, I got the tournament winner right here, buddy. You know, whatever his name was, Bill or whatever it was. I was like, well, I got the tournament winner. Get the net. You know what I mean? And I'm reeling the shit out of this thing. And, man, I got him up close to the boat, and Bill was like, it's a fucking drum. And I was like,
dude, we did that. Mac, we did that in the Detroit River, didn't we?
Yep. Mhm.
We were catching a big walleye or a smallmouth, and him and Mac and Brando both pulled up fucking these white-looking drum that were like this
Yeah.
big. What did they call them up there? They called them something else.
Oh, shit, I can't remember, but you're right.
It was a drum.
Yeah.
It had a different name for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was so proud of myself, man. You know, when I first hooked it, because I'm like, I want to win the tournament on this thing. And yeah, come to find out that was definitely a drum that was not eligible to be entered into the tournament. So yeah, that was cool, but try a largemouth bass next time.
Dude, speaking of the Detroit River, the fishing trip raffle we had is happening in July. Cody Fields and Brian Hopfer are the winners of it.
Oh wow,
So they're going fishing with us.
sweet.
But I was texting back and forth with our fishing guides up there, Jared and Zach. They got some fishing shirts that they just received. Mac, they're really happy with them.
Awesome.
Yep. But I found out Jared was texting with me and everything, and he said he saw our sticker on his boat of the podcast, and I think it was his nephew. Hold on. Let me read through this. 15-year-old nephew saw that and said, "Do you know those guys?" And he's like, "Yeah, they come fishing with us." He's like, "I listened to their podcast." There's a 15-year-old kid. Morgan, shout out to you, brother. Thank you for listening to our podcast.
Yeah,
and
Morgan.
maybe we'll get to meet you when we come up there and go fishing the weekend of July 10th.
Heck yeah, that'd be awesome.
So shout out to Morgan. Jared, thank you for telling us he listens. Jared and Zach, we can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah, we need to find
that's
out what
good
size
stuff
shirt
right
that
there.
kid wears. We'll bring him a shirt.
Dang right. Hook it up, Jared. So, all right, back to catfish real quick. Now, classic question. I'm sure you know you have to answer this one. Tell us the story of your biggest catfish. Where was it? How big was it? I like big fish. I like big antlers, big racks, only racks, if you will.
Only
I
racks.
cannot lie.
And I cannot lie. I don't know why I'm holding my hands like this, but
Now that's
I'm talking about antlers.
Sometimes I just don't know what to do with my hands.
my tiny. Go along. I got these tiny hands. You know. It's biggest catfish ever. So I can't remember the exact weight of that thing, but it was on a trot line. I believe it was at Truman Lake, and we've got a picture of it with my dad and his DGF. I mean, you want to talk about OG DGF, the old boy named Rob Casey.
That stands for Original General.
Yeah. And Rob Casey. So me and my dad and you want to talk about some funny stories, man. You ought to get him, together and talking about the stories that him and Rob have from way back. I mean, I'm talking like the late 70s on, and but we were all together. We were down, I believe it was Truman Lake. And I want to say this catfish was like 52 pounds or something like that.
Nice.
It was big.
Flathead?
Blue.
Blue.
It was a blue.
All right.
And we still have a picture of it. And it was on a trot line. And I just remember that we thought the trot line had somehow gotten hung up in something, right? Maybe it had gotten hung up on a stump or something like that, and it was like, man, this like, I can't get this thing to come up, and finally we got this thing up, and it was like, dude, this freaking fish is fucking massive. Like, we had no idea. I mean, we didn't even have a net big enough. Like, you get the net for what? Like, didn't even fit it in the net.
You had to muscle it up into the
You
boat.
just had to muscle it, and there's a picture of it, and the Missouri Department of Conservation, they have this thing, they call it the Master Angler Award, and if you catch a fish that's so big, depending on the species, they have different criteria and this and that. And the funny thing is that, so one year I put my old man in for that award, and they sent me the little certificate and everything, and they ask you for a picture, right, of the guy with the fish. and I have a picture of my dad holding this fish, and he's holding it up like this, and this fish, my dad's 6 foot tall, and the fish goes, from his eyeballs all the way down to his knees.
Ground,
yeah. And so my dad, I give him this award and everything. I put it in a little frame and I give it to him. I say, hey, happy birthday, Dad. Like, what do you buy the guy that has everything, right? Well, you get him stuff like this.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I said, hey, Dad, happy birthday or Merry Christmas or whatever it was. And I said, here's your Master Angler Award from the Missouri Department of Conservation. Oh, man, this is kind of neat. And so, weeks, months, however long it was later, he was telling Rob Casey about it. I guess, from what I understand, Rob got a little butthurt, and he was like, well, I was with you that day. Like, I didn't get a Master Angler Award. Why didn't I get a Master Angler Award? And my dad's like, well, because your boy's not James. That's why you didn't get a Master Angler Award. Like, I don't know what to tell you, big guy.
Sorry, bud.
Sorry, bud. Like, you don't get a Master Angler Award. So, we got that one. And then, there's like the times that, you got the big fish stories, and then you get, as far as catfish goes, you get the lot of fish stories, like where like the time where, I was, I had just moved into this new house, and I had this blue boat, that I ended up selling. It was a nice boat, but I told my son, I was like, hey, why don't you go out with me, run this trot line one day? Okay, cool. And my son was probably like 6 or 7. You know what I mean? 6 or 7, right? And
wow,
nice. You suck. There you go. And so I was like, jump in the boat. Let's go run this trot line. And I was like, okay. I didn't think much of it, And I get there, and state of Missouri, you get 33 hooks, and I never bait up all 33 hooks, just because I don't. Generally, I'll do about 28. You know what I mean? Just to give me a little leeway, that way if I get checked, I forget or whatever, last thing I want to do is put on 34, right? And the game warden come in and he's like, yo, you got 34. And I'm like, oh man, sorry, I miscounted,
Yeah.
So I generally do about 28. And so I go to this trot line, and let's say I had 28 hooks. I don't remember how many I had. Let's say I had 28. Bro, I think I had fish on like 25 of them.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit. And
you know what the only reason that gives me anxiety is because you got to clean all of them.
yeah, right,
yeah. You 100% have to clean every single one of them.
How many hours did it take you to clean all those fish?
And so
look, stand by, guys, stand by.
Cheers.
Hey,
Cheers.
Tiny little hand.
There you go, L'chaim.
Cheers.
Or what's the slancha? Yeah.
Cheers.
Prost.
Norm.
And so it took a bunch. And so, and again, my son is 6 or 7 years old. Like, he can't really help. You know what I mean? Like, he's just there for the experience. And I thought I was going to catch, a handful. I didn't know I was going to hit 25. So I'm working my ass off. You know what I mean?
You got that many hooks out there. Sometimes you got to expect to catch a bunch.
Yeah. And of course, it's Missouri. It's the middle of summer, so it's about 148 degrees.
To yourself.
And I'm just pouring sweat. You know what I mean? It would have been nice to have a DGF hoodie back then so I could keep the sun off me because the sun burned real easy.
Even better, you got it when you're 40.
I did. Hey, even better, right? I was just wearing it when we went cry fishing a little bit ago. But anyway, but yeah, and I wouldn't let him look when I would gill him and I would bleed him out. I wouldn't let him look because I'm like, it's kind of barbaric, what I mean?
Oh, come on now.
Ah, man, I just didn't want him to see all that, So
I cleaned my first squirrel when I was 6.
I get it.
It had some big old nuts on it. I remember this shit. 6 years old. That was 32 years ago. I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember cleaning. I got a picture of it on the wall over there. My first kill was a squirrel. I was like 6. Fucking awesome. Anyways, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm bleeding these things out, and I'm dropping them in the live well. I'm pouring sweat and everything else. My back is sore and whatnot. And my son, he's just back there having a big old time. He doesn't realize that I'm up here working my
Fish everywhere.
There's fish everywhere. We caught so many of them, and I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like, there's a million. This is gonna take me hours to clean all this up. But we just had so much fun. He still remembers it. We still talk about it to this day.
Hell yeah.
And
dude, that is all a part of it. That's damn good, friends. Mm-hmm. We're not just here to work and pay taxes. We're here to make memories with our family and damn good friends in the outdoors. And that's great that you have that memory with your brother.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it.
You know, my
Dude,
Uncle Mark.
you probably heard on the podcast, but Milo's still one of his favorite stories ever to tell people is when we went squirrel hunting and never killed a squirrel because he got to watch Corey rolling around on the fucking ground. To this
I
day,
did-
it's his favorite
I
story.
did a little Vietnam bit because we weren't seeing squirrels, and I jumped in the brush and rolled around and said, "Charlie's in the trees. Get down!" I'm nasty as shit.
He's got the most innocent giggle, and that dude could not shut up. It was awesome.
I can remember, man, I was like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old, somewhere around in there. And my Uncle Mark, excuse me, it was the flood of 93. That's exactly what it was. And the lake was up real high.
I was 6.
No, I was 10, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, now that I remember, it was a great flood of 93. I was 10 years old. And my Uncle Mark, I still remember this to this day. We're at the boat ramp. We're cleaning up these fish that we caught. And he was like, "What's that flopping over there in the bush?" You know, and when I say the bush, I mean like the lake is up so high that we're in the parking lot,
Yeah.
right? Like
Catching fish.
way into the parking lot. And he walked over there and was like, "What son of a bitchin' fish?" You know, that had gotten stuck or whatever in these bushes. And so he just walked over there and grabbed this fish with his hands and is like, "Hell, I didn't even have to leave the parking lot to catch a fish. Check this out." You know,
What kind of fish was
it's
it?
catfish.
Oh God,
You know, catfish, and I was like, that is the dumbest ass thing I've ever heard in my life. Old boy caught a catfish in the parking lot. You know,
you never know.
you never know, man.
That's the
So,
truth.
yeah,
Hey, since Mac finally he's got his beverage there with him, Mac.
My wife is a social butterfly, so she was up chitty chatting with people at the bar.
Of course. So hey, it's a good thing that you're not here for this whiskey review we're gonna do, Mac.
Yeah, what's the proof on that sucker?
That's exactly why it's good that you're not here.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
So what we have here that me and James are going to do a review on. This is from Broadleaf Whiskey, Brothers of the Leaf, straight rye whiskey finished in toasted white oak casks, handcrafted premium quality, 119.2 proof.
Oh, fuck me.
This is
So
from batch 1.
55.
All right. Brothers of the Leaf is a term often used to describe the bond between fellow cigar enthusiasts and their passion for the cigar culture. Brothers of the Leaf straight rye whiskey was crafted to pay homage to those cigar enthusiasts and the joy of smoking their favorite cigar while sipping on special whiskey.
Don't try to church it up, dirt.
So, homage, we're going to pay homage without cigars because we don't smoke cigars in the vault. That is my man cave, and I don't want it smelling like cigars.
True story.
Yeah, but we would enjoy a cigar outside, maybe.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna sample this raw, neat, if you will.
That's neat.
Oh, yeah.
This was not a cheap bottle. This was a $100 bottle that I bought to share with a damn good friend. But he's given me rain checks a couple of times, so we're gonna try it tonight, James.
Well, yeah.
And I'm not talking about you.
I did. Mac, I thought he was talking about me when
I
we.
did too, and I'm like, wow, he's right here.
Yeah. Bro, I'm sitting right next to you. Like, why are you
James,
clowning?
Do you enjoy the higher proof bourbons?
I enjoy just bourbon in general, like just a blanket statement.
I mean,
There it
it's
is,
just,
Mac.
you're just asking to burn your insides apart. Oh,
Brothers of the Leaf.
The label's cool.
I'll typically take my bourbons neat. If they've got a strong bite, I'll do them over rocks, but I never mix them with anything. You mix them with stuff that'll kill you.
Well,
I do like a little Crown and Coke. I won't lie.
cheers, James. Cheers, Mac.
Cheers, fellas.
Yeah.
Tinker it for me. Give me a little tink.
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 Mm-hmm.
That's pretty dang good.
Dude, seriously, I'm not being a smartass here. There are notes of vanilla. There is vanilla. There's a hint of a note.
Hint of a note.
There's some creamy flavor to this.
Yeah,
Damn.
back end burn.
No,
Not really.
You getting on the back of the palate, Corey?
hold on. Let me try.
Not anything uncontrollable. Generally, ryes have a little bit of bite,
Mhm.
but that one will not will not burn your insides out.
What are you
like
getting on the front side, James? What are you feeling?
I don't know if I'm cultured enough for all that, but it is good. It's good bourbon.
Mac, I know you don't like the high proof. This is pretty fucking good.
It's pretty good.
I'm drinking it neat.
Yeah.
I've tried it. I'll still try things. Just doesn't mean I'm going to keep drinking it.
I know. Well, next time, stop swallowing stuff.
Dude, I told you. It's like my turkey calls.
You ought to hear him use a diaphragm turkey call.
You can't. Here's the thing, you can't. Because I won't be able to do it.
Demonstration, Mac.
That's here. I don't think it's that might bring something in, but it ain't gonna be a made turkey. I'll tell you.
I'll try not to make it too loud no matter. You're like, what the fuck?
Hey, it's okay. I've got more custom slate calls coming.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Listen, I've tried it on and off for the last 20 years of my hunting career, probably.
Maybe you need to go to prison just to get used to it.
I don't think that's a great strategy. But, I mean, it's an option, I guess, but not the one I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Yes. Yes. Love you.
Pause for wife.
Our wife was checking on us. She worries about us sometimes.
Well, she should. We're a rowdy bunch, you know.
It's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's got to be an adult.
Yeah.
Are we accomplishing your notes as well, James?
Well, yeah. I mean, I just took some notes. You know, I didn't want to show up and be like, oh, so you know, hey, tell us, and I'll just sit there and be like, oh.
I'll tell you what, Mac. Cody Fields thought he brought notes. No, he ain't got shit on James Elam. James Elam, he brought some printed out, like typed out, printed out, bulleted notes here.
Okay, you know what? Let's just take a moment, James. Let's pick something from your notes here. What do you got?
Well, we've
been talking about it.
We've talked about a lot of the notes that I took and everything. Let me look here real quick.
Before we get to that one thing, I wanted to talk about something else.
Okay.
Honestly, we'll probably skip that for right
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I would like to.
Did you just tell him how not to use his notes?
Yeah, I sure did.
That's okay.
We're gonna skip one. Well, I mean, this is gonna be a fairly lengthy podcast, and
I love it, dude.
You know, but however, just the other question. We've talked about turkey hunting. You're great at catfishing, man, and we need to put on our schedule this summer at some point or this fall to do a little catfishing. But what about deer? Tell me about your deer hunting experience.
I generally deer hunt. I go out. We have a deer camp every year. We've been
mainly rifle, right?
Oh yeah, 100% rifle. I've never actually archery hunted in my life.
You're missing out, but that's fine.
I'm sure it would be fantastic. I've just never had the chance to do it. You know, but we go to deer camp every year. We've been going to deer camp every year continuously since 1995. We still have our original hats from 1995.
Oh, damn.
You
still wear them?
No, 100%. No, hell no.
Not falling apart or nothing?
No. My dad bought them
at 1-year-old hat.
Yeah, my dad bought them at Walmart in 95 for the deer season.
Shout out Walmart.
Shout out Walmart. Shout out man.
That's when Walmart made good stuff.
Yeah. And so he bought me and him Deer Camp 1995 hats, and my uncle Mike, same guy, he got kind of butthurt because he was there and he's like, "Well, you didn't buy me a hat."
Where's my Deer Camp hat?
And so the very next year, my dad went out and bought him a Deer Camp 1996 hat, right? And so, other than the years that I was in the military and I was gone. And I couldn't deer hunt. We've been going to deer camp every year continuously since 1995.
Hell yeah!
And you know, it's the locations have bounced around, the people have bounced around, but the core group, really the core group is me and my dad. And
your boys go now too, don't they?
My boys go now.
Yeah.
Right. And so of course in 1995 I was younger than my boys currently are.
Yeah.
And so, we've been able to pass that tradition on, and we really, really like it. I do really enjoy deer hunting. Well, let me back. I enjoy deer camp more than I enjoy deer hunting.
And you know what? There's a lot of guys out there that have never been to a deer camp, but they've been deer hunting a few times and they won't deer hunt anymore. I'm like, just get your damn good friends together. Go to a deer camp.
Yeah.
Plan to cook a pot of chili. Plan to have a cooler of beer. Plan to burp and fart and tell jokes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Gumbo's out.
And
Don't do gumbo.
Do gumbo. Just eat it while it's fresh.
Maybe, that's probably a good point.
So yeah, it's ironic you bring that up because like our current deer camp, so we hunted on public land for years and years, and then long story, it's my wife's cousin, but we've been going to deer camp on his land now or around his land in northeast Missouri for I don't know 6, 8, maybe 10 years now. Shout out to Aaron. If you listen to this episode, you know who you are. We really appreciate it. You and Missy are fantastic people, and they really are. Like, they are fantastic human beings. And so they host us every year, and we go deer hunting out there now. And have been for several years. They have a nice barn or a Quonset hut or whatever you want to call it. It's got a concrete floor. It's a metal building. And we go in there and we hook up all the crock pots and all the food, and we sit in there and eat and we drink and we smoke cigars and we tell stories. And of course, everybody talks about, the huge deer that they missed and the huge deer that they killed.
Sometimes people cry, sometimes people laugh.
All of the above, maybe in the same night, And Aaron has a bobcat or a skid steer, bobcat, whatever you want to call it, there. And what's really cool about that is like you bring your deer back in your pickup, and you put it on the gambrel or whatever that thing's called, and he lifts that mug right up in the air, and we skin her out and we bone her out right there on the spot. You know what I mean?
We do it too.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. And every morning, every Sunday morning, we wake up and Missy fixes this huge freaking breakfast, and it's wonderful. And it's just, man, it's so much fun. Like I would be totally content with going to deer camp and I wouldn't even take my rifle,
Dude.
And I would think, man, this is still so much fun.
I agree. And me and Mac host a big bucks tournament, and we pressure ourselves to hunt big deer and all that stuff. But when push comes to shove, when we get to deer camp, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
We want to kill a buck, but you know what? If we kill a doe and we cook fresh inner loins on the frickin' fire that night, holy shit. We're going to celebrate that.
If we stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning playing whack fuck or hammer slogging,
you ever heard of whack?
Go hunting the next morning, that's cool too.
On my birthday 2 years ago, we played this game where you sit in a circle. You get a stump and you put a 16 penny nail in there.
Okay.
And you have a hammer, and you got to keep your elbow and your arm completely straight, and you have to try to hit the other people's nails in.
Okay.
And if you swing it max nail and you miss it, you got to take a drink of your beer.
Okay.
But if you hit it, he's got to take a drink of his beer. Now, if someone else hits your nail in, whatever's in your can or cup or whatever, you got to finish it.
If he drives it all the way.
On my birthday at deer camp, we finished way too many bottles of whiskey, and we played these games for till about 3 a.m., would you say?
It's like 3:30. I climbed in my truck. I sleep in the back of my truck whenever we go to camps, and I climbed that thing about 3 o'clock, 3:30.
Oh.
You'd already passed out. Me and Wade finished another beer. And then I was like, wait, I gotta go to sleep, dude.
There's no waking up from that. I mean,
no.
I remember when we very first started going to deer camp, man, I remember so we're talking 95, 96, somewhere around in there. And it was just colder than hell, right? And it was cold, and it was rain and freezing rain, and we were in tents, right? And I remember like my Uncle Mark waking up in the middle of the night, and he had to take a piss, and it was all we could do to get the tent open. And then when we woke up the next morning, it was so cold, and it had been freezing rain all night long. We couldn't open the tent, like we couldn't get out.
Smokes.
And we had to holler at the other dudes that were there and be like, hey, you got to pour some water on this zipper or something because we can't get out of the tent. And we did that for several years. How my old man and all those guys, my Uncle Mark, my Uncle Mike, my cousin Timmy and all them guys, how they did that, because they were, a little bit younger than me. Then they were a little bit younger than I am now, maybe about the same age. Like if somebody asked me right now, hey, we're going to go to deer camp and it's going to be freezing rain and we're going to stay in a tent, I'd be like, no, you're going to go to deer camp and it's going to be freezing rain and you're going to stay in a tent. I am going to stay in a hotel or whatever, you know what I mean, or a camper or whatnot.
We've got a camper now too. But we've done that. We slept in tents. We went to a deer camp near Macon with Cody and me and Cody and Corey, and it was like 15, 20 degrees.
It was a big canvas tent.
It was a big tent, but I know we all drank way too much one night. That's when we were howling with the coyotes.
No, we drank just enough.
It was an ample amount of perfect. And we've polished off this whiskey, but I remember rolling over in the morning, and from our breath, we had created a frost on the inside of the canvas.
And then the sun hit it and it started melting off.
And it was like frigid cold, and we all rolled into the middle because we had what was that little fire pit? You had like that little stove, or we had a propane heater.
Yeah.
We rolled over, looked at it, everybody looked at the heater, and we said, no, it's not happening. Dude, we covered our faces back up and just tried to survive.
Dude, no shit. With this one time, me and my old man, we've always been looking for a different place to hunt and whatnot. And I found I went to an Army school and met a guy, and he was from Oklahoma, and his dad though lived in North Missouri.
Okay,
and he's like, hey, yeah, he owns some land up there around Conception Junction, where the Abbey is up there.
I know 100% where that is. Yeah.
So you know where the Abbey is?
Yeah.
Gravel road that goes straight west and then cuts back south.
Okay.
That big corner land there, I leased that at one point.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So me and my dad went up there and we set up a tent. When we set up our tent, it was cold, but it wasn't bad. But North Missouri and towards St. Joe area, it gets windy.
Yeah.
Well, we set up and we had a couple of different spots. We had stands already set up and whatnot, and we hunted the first day, and then some sleet came in. But then it stopped, and it was like, okay, it's a little windy, not too bad. So we decided to hunt again the next day. We hunted again the next day, and the next day was terrible. I was expecting big bucks up there. I passed up some small bucks, thinking, I'm not going to kill that, waiting on the next one. Should have killed a small one early. But then the wind came, and that wind wanted to rip that tent apart. I have a picture hanging on the wall over there commemorating this. We were sitting in there. We were not going to go out and hunt. We poured glasses of Crown Royal, and we're sitting in the tent drinking these. And I could describe it in the picture, but the wind just beating on that freaking tent.
Oh yeah.
And we had a heater in the middle, but elevated because it was a regular tent. I didn't want to melt it. And the next morning, we slept. We woke up the next morning, the wind was still howling, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go try to hunt. I got a rifle. I'm gonna go look. This is rifle season. Went out there, and my dad didn't go. And I go out there, and we had walkie-talkies, and I had scared some deer right away, right as the sun was coming up. And I was like, well, fuck, this sucks. I scared him off. And I get in the stand, and my dad radios, hey, the tent is being blown over. We're done. I was like, shit.
Well, there's that.
So we went back, packed everything up, drove back home to Polo, and on the old family land that we're not allowed to hunt on anymore. Next morning, woke up, killed a buck and a doe.
Dude, I've never heard that
There you
story.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, that top buck right there is the one I killed.
James, that was the first time I've ever heard that. We heard that together for the first time.
Dude, really? I never told you that one?
Mm-mm.
I have
That's
pictures
awesome.
on the wall. Like, it was miserable.
It sounds miserable, but what a great story.
Oh, yeah. Dad will tell you, I don't know how Corey talked me into this.
So yeah, the same year that the zipper froze shut, my dad always likes to tell the story. And the wind was blowing. It's North Missouri, right? We were up in the Milan area, north central Missouri.
Uh-huh.
And of course, the wind was blowing like 700 miles an hour, whatever ridiculous rate it was, and it was like 8 degrees. And he hollered at his brother Mark. He said, "Mark," or no, he said, James, my dad's out there cooking breakfast sausage on a little Coleman stove, so we would have something to eat before we went out. And the wind's blowing 700 miles an hour. He's out there freezing his ass off, whatever, being a DGF, cooking up some breakfast sausage. He's like, James, get up. And dude, the only respite you have from that cold is inside that sleeping bag. Right? That's all you got. And I was like, when 95, I was 12.
It's hard to want to get out of that sleeping bag.
You got to really want it. And I was like, I ain't getting up till Mark gets up.
I have a strategy for that. I don't know if you'd be willing to try this, but go to sleep in your hunting clothes.
Okay.
And as soon as you can work up the courage, you do a 3-2-1, or you do whatever you do. Get the fuck out of the sleeping bag. Walk outside immediately outside of the tent. Just walk out there, get the wind, put your hat on.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. The chances of me ever sleeping in a tent, it's probably pretty low. You know what I mean? But I said, I get up when Mark gets up, and my dad said, okay. He said, Mark, that's his younger brother. He said, Mark, get up. And Mark said, no. I said, yes. That means I don't have to get up. So my dad said, well, piss on both of you.
Oh, God.
I'm going hunting. Well, needless to say, I did not go hunting that morning. It was
Did
so...
anybody kill a deer that morning?
Man, I'm telling you, we used to take lots of huge deer off of that conservation area. We were hunting public land at the time.
Yeah.
And we used to take lots of huge deer off of that conservation area. It was Locust Creek Conservation Area up by Milan. And, we would take deer, and then it was like a tradition, on opening morning was always Saturday. And so like a Saturday night, we would all load up in the truck and we'd drive around the conservation area. And this place was like 5,000 acres, something. It was huge, right? Multiple campsites.
Up around Milan?
Milan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we would drive around this place and we would stop at every campsite and be like, what y'all got? And everybody would have multiple deer hanging. You know what I mean? And back in the day, before you could telecheck stuff, I don't know if you remember this, Mac. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you're old enough or not, but you had to take it to like the local MFA or
You see all
whatever.
them tags up there?
Yeah.
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 And that's almost one of the roots of our big buck contest, was to start getting to people to share their hunts again and share their story.
Yeah.
Oh man, hey, I tell you, you would go to the MFA there in Milan, and they had that little loading dock there, and of course the dude that shot the biggest buck that had been checked in all day, that old boy would stand there on that loading dock, and you'd roll up with your buck, and he'd be like, "Yeah, that's pretty good. Did you see my buck?
Mm-hmm.
And his is better." And then somebody would come along with a better one, and he would just silently slink off to the side, and then that old boy would just stand there and be like, "Hey, that's a pretty good buck.
Check mine out."
Why don't you
I
check
remember
mine out?"
every person, especially late at night on that opening day of rifle season, for example, the places we would check it in, it would be like a 2 or 3 mile long line right at dark. And I remember like my brother and his buddies getting out, and they'd have cold. I mean, they already had like 6 beers, 7, 8 beers, who knows how many. I mean, I was a young pup back then, and they would have their beers, and they'd be like, "Get out of the fucking truck." And you're like, "Okay." And you're just like, "I'm following you." And you just follow them around, and they were just, all you're doing is walking, just walking. And I'm like, what happens if the line starts to move? And he's like, "I'll fucking move my truck when that happens, or somebody else will. I don't fucking know. I got multiple people here, You're like, "All right, sorry I asked. Yeah, shame on me. I'm sorry. I'm the one drinking root beer here, so I don't know what to tell you."
But dude, those memories really are like, we're trying to capitalize on it with social media.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be on social media to enter our tournament. You can enter it on our website now.
Yeah.
And you can post your deer on there and you talk your shit and whatnot. But if you're on the Facebook group and you're following us on Instagram and all that stuff, you see more of it like happening. Like on September 15th, opening day, someone killed a big buck. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
On October 14th, the October lull happened, but so-and-so still got into that bedding area and killed that big buck. And there's more stories to be told with it.
Yeah.
We really are capitalizing on that. I'm pretty
People
happy
just
about it.
complimenting you on your hunt. Like, some of these guys are hunting by themselves, and you're sharing that conversation with maybe your brother or your dad or your wife, but that's it. that's where the chain ends. But we wanted to keep going. We wanted you to share that story with everyone.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I want to call someone out real quick. We're going to transition to something because he's really smart about something I want to hear about.
I'm all about training.
But wait, what?
What did you say?
I'm not 100% sure what he just said.
Who'd you vote for? Okay.
I can't talk about it on this podcast.
Shout out to Bill Fick. He's a South Central rep for Movets Outdoors.
Hell yeah.
South Central are like,
Springfield area, Hartville area. We have we are planning. He is planning. I'm just trying to help. Opening weekend of rifle season, Movets hunt, veteran only hunt. We've got several farmers in the area that are going to donate their land for veterans to be able to come hunting on. And Bill is going to figure out the logistics of getting some stands on the property. We're going to check it out, all that good stuff. And it'll be his first really big go at assisting with Movets and having another location for veterans to get out hunting. And it'll be the only location that I'm aware of right now that is going to be opening weekend of rifle season, that there's going to be some veterans have an opportunity to put in. I think he's probably going to do 4, maybe 5 veterans because we got a big chunk of property down there. But shout out to Bill. He's got a big job ahead of him, but I know he can do it, and I'm going to help.
Well, we're going to help. I mean, it's a we
We're
thing.
gonna help.
We'll figure it out. We'll get some lodging set up, get meals. I'm excited. Bill's doing it. I'm proud of Bill for stepping up, brother Bill, and it's going to be amazing veterans.
And that's pretty awesome that, he steps up for that. And, shout out to those landowners, whoever they are. Because, I mean,
The only reason I don't say their names, I don't know if they want to be known yet.
And it's okay, right? But that's awesome that they're willing to donate their land for a cause like that because, you can make a lot of money, especially if you have good deer ground. You can make a lot of money opening weekend of deer season. So you're passing up, X amount of dollars to donate your land for a cause like that. And shout out to those landowners that are willing to do that. That's very good of them, and we really appreciate that.
Yep,
I agree completely. Well said.
Now that I shouted out Bill, we're going to learn a few things from James Elam here.
I've been learning all night. What the hell are you doing?
Drinking whiskey. Fill us in. Let us know. HJR94.
Okay.
And I know you have a history lesson on MDC and how it affects us today.
Okay.
So go ahead.
It's just one of those things that, and without getting too political, and, everybody thinks that politics is
just keep it as factual as possible.
Yeah, every 4 Novembers, everybody wants to get real wound up about politics, and right. And how often do people say and I'm just going to name the last 2 guys, Trump this or Biden that, or what have you, right? And the problem with that is, I mean, it's great and fine, but the problem with that is that the president of the United States, his actual effect on your day-to-day existence is pretty negligible. Right. It's almost non-existent. You know what I mean? His actual effect on your day-to-day existence, right? Whereas
unless you're glued to Facebook.
Unless you're glued to Facebook, right? And then you did that, not him. You know what I mean? He doesn't even know you exist. Whereas, the lower down the political chain you get, the more effect they have on your day-to-day existence. But yet, the Facebook warriors, and I'm not going to call out, one party or another because there's plenty enough with both parties. The Facebook warriors, if I was to go up to them and ask them, who's the president of the United States? Well, it's Donald J. Trump, Okay, cool. Who's your city councilman? Well, I have no fucking idea. Okay, cool. Who do you think has a bigger impact on your day-to-day existence? Your city councilman, your county commissioners, your state reps, your state governor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And so, I say all that the politics isn't just every 4 years in November, right? There's quite a bit more to it than that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, if you're going to skip an election, that's the one to skip. You know what I mean? What the ones you don't want to skip is your city council and your county commission and this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
And so HJR 94, getting back to your original question, HJR 94. So and this is one particular, iteration of something that's come up, multiple times over its lifespan, is that it's something that, kind of wants to, and again, I'm not an expert. I'm sure some, internet warrior is going to be like, well, actually,
Interpret it how you think, man.
Yeah.
Because you know more about it than I do.
So essentially, at the end of the day, it's going to cut the dedicated conservation sales tax in half, right? I believe it's 0.125 to 0.0625, right? So it's going to cut it in half. It's going to prevent the Missouri Department of Conservation from using that tax revenue to purchase land, and it's going to require the tax to be reapproved by voters every 6 years, right? And on the face of it, when you start talking about conservation bills and the conservation department and how they're funded and this, that, and the other thing, on the face of it, a lot of times we get sold these bills and they sound really good on the face of it, like, hey, we're going to limit the size of government, and potentially like there's no bill out there. I've heard a lot of talk about, well, there's this bill out there that's going to require the sale of Missouri Department of Conservation land. Okay, there's no bill out there that says that, like, hey, we're going to require the Missouri Department of Conservation to sell.
Say then.
I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
There's no bill out there that says we're going to require the sale of X amount of land from the Missouri Department. But if you cut the sales tax in half, right, the Missouri Department of Conservation owns and controls X amount of land. Let's say it's 100,000 acres. It's more than that, I'm sure. Let's call it 100,000 acres. I think it's more like 1 million, right? Let's call it 100,000. Okay. If you cut their revenue base in half, if I was to cut your paycheck in half right now, what do you think you're going to have to do?
Get another job.
You're going to have to get another job. You're going to have to figure out ways to cut expenses.
Right.
You're going to have to sell off some stuff, et cetera, et cetera. Right. The Missouri Department of Conservation is no different. Right. So no, there's not a bill that says we're going to make you sell this land. But if you cut their funding in half, then it's a natural consequence that, okay, they're going to have to sell off this land. You know what I mean? And again, sometimes we can get sold these bills, and it sounds good, right? We're going to limit the size.
Hold on, for a dumb redneck like me, is this a bill we're talking about here?
So this is a bill.
Okay.
Right. This is a
House Joint Resolution.
Actually, it's HJR is a House Joint Resolution.
Okay.
Now, it's actually a constitutional amendment because the way the Missouri Department of Conservation is funded, you can't just change a law and change the way they're funded, right? And that was done intentionally to keep the Missouri Department of Conservation's funding separated from politics. You know what I mean? So it takes a constitutional amendment, not just a simple law. Like if it was a simple law, I mean, we'd have whiplash as we went from one to the other, one side to the other, whatever. It's a constitutional amendment, and it's come up multiple times. It is.
What do you think, to sum up a little bit, to shorten this up a little bit, what do you think with having that proposal out there, what do you think we are in danger of? Do you think we're in danger of losing public land? That's my question.
Potentially.
Yeah. So this is a thing that's come up in many other states several times, and I have petitioned, and I have been a part of groups just through email and through signing up and through donating, and for lands I've never hunted, but I want to hunt. Idaho, Utah, Oregon, all these West states that have great big game hunting and whatnot. Yeah. And the only reason I bring it up, and I say that to sum it up, is to just make people aware of, read the bills, read these changes people want to make, and understand them, because I think public land, public use, conservation, and allowing people to have the freedom to be able to go fish these rivers, to go hunt these lands, is probably one of the most important freedoms that we have in America. And we can't have it disappear. So regardless of how they word it, I understand you're trying to intelligently explain, well, they're trying to word it this way, but this is what it could be.
Yeah.
getting to the root of it and asking the right questions, I think is a great deal.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm a dumb redneck. I want people to explain it better to me. I want to understand it. And honestly, if they are trying to get rid of public land, I want private land more than anything. I would love to own land, but it's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
This next year, I'm going to be a public land hunter.
It's insane.
I want everyone to have opportunities to experience the outdoors and enjoy the freedoms that we have. So,
I mean, so that's a big reason. You know, part of the big reason why I was drawn so much to fishing over hunting is that more of it is that you can't ice me out of the rivers and the lakes, right? They're not privately owned.
You don't own the water.
You can't own the water. You don't own the water. Nobody owns the water. So I always have access to those resources. Whereas you 100%, we've all run into spots. Everybody, probably everybody listening to this podcast has run into a spot where it's like, man, I used to have this great turkey spot, or I used to have this great deer spot.
Stop and cry.
Yeah, and now I don't have access to that spot anymore because it changed hands. My family sold it, or this guy's family sold it, or whatever. And you know, a developer bought it, this, that, and the other thing. You know, and so you can't get iced out of hunting. 100%. It happened to all of us.
We've got stories for that. Mac has. His family, when he was young, owned a bunch of land, and he's told it on the podcast a couple times already. But I'm just Mac's family owned a bunch of land, and they lost.
Yeah.
I lost my family land because of deaths and people that don't understand the importance of it.
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
For instance, Watson sells that land. I don't have a turkey hunting spot anymore.
Nope.
If my wife's cousin Aaron sells that land, I don't have a deer hunting spot anymore. It's that quick and easy.
Which brings me to my next point. Big importance for you and I and Mac and veterans, people who've served this country, the organization MoVets Outdoors. I highly encourage you. I know you're not a big social media guy, but I highly encourage you to make a Facebook just to be a part of MoVets Outdoors, just to see and be able to put in for their hunts. Because if you lost your turkey hunting land, there might be a turkey hunt that Bill Fick puts on down South Missouri that you could put in for. There might be a snagging trip in Southwest Missouri that Mark Durbin puts on that you can go down for, or a deer hunt or a dove hunt in Southeast Missouri that Brian Hopfer puts on. So
Experience the camps.
So that's an advantage of serving your country, which everyone should serve their country. I'm not going to get into that. Power to the people. But public land is the other side of that. Everyone deserves that opportunity. I want to see more people hunting a public land. You know, everyone thinks the public land is going to get overcrowded, but there's plenty of it right now.
Oh, yeah.
As long as we don't lose it, let's go, right?
Yep.
I mean, me and my old man and our whole deer camp, we hunted public land, deer hunted public land for 20 years. And,
Which is impressive, rifle hunting public land for 20 years.
Yeah.
And you guys killed big bucks.
Well, we killed big bucks.
Yeah.
And, the stories we always heard about people, they'd be like, yo, you hunt public land and, it's going to be like Baghdad in that bitch. Like, they're going to be peeling the bark above your tree.
He
bitch,
said Baghdad.
I've been to Baghdad, right? And it ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Baghdad sucks. Locust Creek is nice. You know what I mean? Like,
he just shouted out his public land, Locust Creek.
There you go. Locust Creek right there. Hey, Billy, conservation agent, if you're still working up there, love your show. Right? Good man.
He's not still working there.
I'm sure he's not. It's been years. He was so cool. But that was the thing. That's what we always got told is, oh man, you hunt public land and dudes are going to be shooting at you and guys are going to be walking up on you and this, that, and the thing. Bro, we hunted public land for 20 years. One time I could see a guy like 500 yards away because of his orange. I could see him walking along this pond dike, right? And that's the only dude I ever saw. Nobody ever walked up on me. Nobody ever peeled the bark above my head. You know what I mean? Like, it was not like Baghdad. You know what I mean? Like, that is not a thing. And so, but if we, and I just point out HJR 94. Like, I mean, right now, last I knew it was in committee. It'll probably die in committee, and that's okay. But what I want to say to people,
it's been there since February of 25. I mean, it's sitting there.
What I want to say is, like, you got to pay attention to politics more than every 4 years in November.
Locally.
Yeah, local politics actually makes a difference in your day-to-day existence. I don't care, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, whoever it might be, whoever's coming up, next. I don't care. Put Mickey Mouse on the ballot, right? Like, I don't know, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. You ever even met either one of those guys? Like, can you personally say they even exist? I don't know. They might be an AI creation.
You know what? I will tell you that I voted. I voted for somebody, but I will also tell you I do not trust a man who can't enjoy a cold beer.
True story.
Did you say you voted for Kamala? Is that what you said?
Speaking of which, I want to transition to one more thing because we need to wrap up this podcast. Otherwise, I will not go to work tomorrow. I have physical therapy in the morning. This thing's starting to move. I did a push-up the other day.
Dude, I'm fired up for you.
Yeah,
it's getting there. This
I'm ready
shoulder
to shoot bows with you this summer, so you better get your shit fixed.
Seriously.
Hell yeah.
But I have one more question for our special guest here.
Okay.
Dude, tell us, what is your favorite beer?
That's actually probably the easiest question you asked in this whole podcast. If I had to pick one beer to drink for the rest of my life, it would be Miller Genuine Draft, right? Black label, Miller Genuine Draft, MGD, right? Shout out to MGD right there.
When was the last time you saw MGD in the gas station?
You don't.
You don't.
You don't. Right.
You got to find a place that carries that shit.
You have to find a place that carries it, especially.
Do you me your house right now?
I'm sure I do. Like, it's kind of a that's like asking me if I have milk at the house, right? Like, I'm sure I do, but
the stock.
Yeah, but like, I originally started Mac. I originally started when I got old enough to drink and everything.
Old enough, yeah.
I remember being like, man, and my old man. So we lived in Indianapolis growing up, and I remember we lived in Indianapolis when the inaugural Brickyard 400 came to Indianapolis.
Oh yeah,
right?
I've been there.
Yeah, so we're going back a little bit, and so my favorite driver was Rusty Wallace. Rusty Wallace drove the number 2 black Miller Genuine Draft Ford Thunderbird, and it was the coolest motherfucking car you ever seen in your entire life. And Rusty Wallace he won races all the time, and everybody wants to root for a winner, right? And so I was like,
that's why I root for me,
bro. He was like, Rusty Wallace wins races. His car is legit. Like, MGD has got to be a legit ass beer.
And that's why it tastes good to you.
I 100% think that's
there's nothing wrong with that,
dude.
No.
Okay, so hey, real quick story, right?
Okay.
I know we got to wrap up.
You're good.
Real quick story. So, same guy, Jason, that I developed the script with for the belly flop contest. He for the Cub Scouts, you do a Pinewood Derby every year.
Oh yeah.
If you were in Cub Scouts, you remember the Pinewood Derby.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I got trophies for days.
Hell yeah. And so one year he introduced, and it was brilliant, right? Jason's a very smart man. He introduced the outlaw class, right? So the adults could race. Okay. And so what did I design? I designed a Miller Genuine Draft number 2.
Yes.
Pinewood Derby car. And I bought 2 Pinewood Derby kits. I took the original and then I cut slits off the other one with a bandsaw so I could put fenders around the tires.
Oh my God.
And then I went on Amazon and I bought a Rusty Wallace number 2.
You still have this?
100%. Yeah.
Sitting on a shelf with a trophy?
It's not. The car was abysmally slow, right? But it absolutely was the freaking coolest car in the entire Pinewood Derby race.
That's fucking
I
tits.
put fenders on it. I put the MGD logos on it. I even pulled up a picture of Rusty Wallace's car, and I tried to match the logos that I put on there to the exact locations they were on that car. Rusty Wallace, if you're listening to it, love your show, kid.
Dude.
But
I got my car, bro.
yeah. But I did that, and I was like, that is the coolest fucking car that's ever been created.
Dude.
Yeah.
I think that's a great note to end on right there.
Yeah.
From belly flops to catfishing to public land and now to the Pinewood Derby. The MGD Pinewood Derby.
There you go.
Hey, Mac, I need to get a cheers from you.
Well, I just smashed the rest of mine because it tasted too good. But
What a loser. No,
No.
give me your face, though. Gaha! That's going to be the photo for the grams.
I like it.
Right on.
James, thanks for being on our fucking podcast, brother.
Right on, brother.
Damn good
Hey,
friends.
thank you guys for having me. Love you guys.
Oh yeah. Later.